Hello and welcome to Let's Wander. Today I'm accompanied once again by the Brindle Buddy, the lovely Lyla, and we are in the city of York. Yep, we've gone north. We're going to have a look around this historic city and check out some of the sights. So with all this being said, let's wander. This is the house in which astronomer John Goodrick observed the variable stars Algol and Cepheid, making it possible to measure the universe. This was possible thanks to his neighbour Edward Pigott, whose father Nathaniel had his own observatory. Goodrick has an asteroid, a university named after him, and in Tucson, Arizona, there is the Goodrick Pigott Observatory. Elizabeth Montagu was a founding member of the women's intellectual group known as the Blue Stockings. It wasn't exclusively for women, and the name Blue Stockings came about when Benjamin Stillingfleet arrived to a meeting in improper dress, including a pair of everyday worsted stockings. Elizabeth was known as the Queen of the Blue Stockings and went on to contribute to publications as well as writing several herself, such as an essay on the writings and genius of William Shakespeare. York City remains the largest amount of complete medieval walls, and you can get a good view of the city from them. There are towers or bars where you can access the walls. Monk's Bar still has a working portcullis. So up on the city walls, just over there is the Minster. And down here are some lovely looking gardens. The Clifford Tower is what remains of William the Conqueror's first castle keep, built in 1068 with the Norman conquest of York. A year later, rebels with the help of a Viking army destroyed William's castle, and works began to build a stronger fortification with a moat and a lake. In 1190, it would be the host for a terrible act of anti-Semitism when 150 Jews were trapped inside who refused to renounce their faith, then committed suicide rather than letting the townspeople murder them. Possibly the biggest tourist draw in York is the Shambles. The name is thought to have come from the Anglo-Saxon word fleshermells, or flesh shells, as it is where the butchers would display their produce. The cobbled streets were laid in such a way as to allow the slurry from the butchering to run down and out of the streets, and you can still see the meat hooks on a lot of the buildings. The Shambles is considered to be the inspiration for Harry Potter's Diagon Alley, and it attracts a fair few Potterheads, so don't be surprised to see a lot of wannabe wizards visiting the shop that must not be named. It's said people could touch hands from either building in some places. The reason for the buildings almost touching is called jettying, and it comes from a time when you paid for the ground area you occupied, and to avoid paying more money to the landlord, you simply went over his head and built out from above. Have you ever used the term taking the liberty? It originated from the priests and vicars of the Minster getting drunk, and as long as they got inside of the Minster's liberty, they were safe from any trouble they had stirred up. And it's written that drunken vicars would be seen rolling around on the grass laughing about all the trouble they'd caused. An interesting little fact is that Constantine was made Emperor of Rome while he was here. Just around the corner, there's a statue of him, so let's go and check that out. Constantine was proclaimed emperor while he was staying at York in the year 306. He was the first Christian emperor and is thought to be largely responsible for bringing Christianity into England. This is York Minster, founded in 627 and consecrated in 1472. It is the heart of the city. With its 36 bells and a height of 235 feet, it dominates the city centre. The cathedral is the second largest in Northern Europe, and the nave is the widest in England, and the ceiling isn't stone, it's actually wood painted to look like stone. The Great West Window, known as the Heart of Yorkshire, is the second largest among the church's 128 windows. The window was designed and built along with the rest of the west front by master mason Ivor de Ratton in 1338 to 1339. The grand organ has recently undergone restoration works and has quite a story behind it too. On the 1st of February 1829, a blaze had been started deliberately by Jonathan Martin, who had attended the service that afternoon and then hid inside. He piled up prayer books and cushions in the choir and set fire to them, damaging the roof, medieval stalls, pulpit and the organ. John had been previously seen handing out leaflets in protest of the way in which prayer was held at the Minster, but he was also quoted when talking about the organ, "I'll have thee down tonight, thou shalt buzz no more." The fire destroyed the roof, the medieval stalls, as well as the pulpit and the organ. Jonathan was soon caught, tried and found not guilty under a case of insanity and sent to live out his days at Bedlam Hospital in London. The level of craftsmanship in the Minster is very impressive, like this swirling ironwork door. Some of the stone carvings are only a couple of inches in size, with incredibly fine and intricate details. The chapter house is another stunning area of the Minster. Everything from the floor tiles to the ceiling is detailed and colourful. It was completed in 1280 and was where the monks would have conducted most of their business. It was also used by Edward I to hold his parliament. And if you're wondering why it wasn't destroyed by Henry VIII in the Reformation, it is because Henry decided York Minster would be his northern capital of his Anglican church. York Minster is 15 years younger than Notre Dame in Paris and shares the same shape and building materials as its Parisian cousin. The astronomical clock was installed in York Minster in 1955 to commemorate the pilots of Northumberland, Durham and Yorkshire who were killed in World War II. Heading down into the crypt, there are many artefacts worth seeing, like this gilded font, which is still in use today. The portrayal and tomb of St William, who was canonised by Pope Honorius III, ordered an investigation into the miracles and canonised him in Rome in 1226. This chalice holds a 32-carat diamond, and it is also still in use to this day. This stone carving was from the original Saxon Minster, and it depicts the gates of hell. The King's Book of Heroes commemorates 1,443 men and women of York who gave their lives in World War I. It is 2 foot long, 9 inches thick and weighs in at 9 stone, and it is one of the largest books in the world. So that brings us to the end of our wander around York City. Hope you liked it, hope you will hit the like button, and to help support the channel, please click the subscribe button. From me, Chris, Lyla and Buddy, this was Let's Wander, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye bye bye.